Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Brianna. Welcome to Breland's Books. Here's Singer. Just like always. Are you okay? Don't make scary sounds. I am so sorry that I missed Monday and Wednesday videos. I filmed and edited both of them, but then on Monday when I went to post it, I'm not a techie person, so if something's wrong, chances are I can't fix it. So I've been having some technical problems, but I've only been like fixing it enough to get that video up, and then it's back the next time. And sometimes I can figure it out and sometimes I can't. And this one was slightly different than the other one, so like I was clueless. Since I didn't get the Monday video posted, I don't know if you can see her, but there's another dog in the house again because my sister moved back in and brought her other dog with her. Babe? Oh my gosh, Singer makes the scariest sound sometimes. Okay, but so now there's Jessie Ray and Singer Paige. Jessie I don't know if y'all you can probably see her. She's this adorable little white dog walking around. Today is the first Friday of February. January went by so quickly. Today I'm doing, no, Jessie! She tried to knock over my camera by stepping on my stool that it's resting on, precariously, I just realized. Whatever, it'll be okay. So today is my January wrap-up and February TBR. I had a really good month in the month of January for reading, and I'm so glad I did because I needed it. I really, really needed it. There's two of these were not even on my TBR because I already had read them, but by the time I posted my January TBR. So I'm just gonna get right into it. I'm gonna go in order of that I read them. So the first one, I read this book on New Year's. On New Year's, I had actually hurt my back, so I was kind of stuck in bed all day, which was perfect for reading the Tales from the Shadowhunter I can't speak. Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, Maureen Johnson, and Robin Wasserman. And I enjoyed this so much. I read this in one day. I had kind of started the first story, but I hadn't really. So I pretty much read the entire thing in one day, which is a lot. It was a long day. I read this pretty, all day. It's not like it took me 4 hours or like that. No, it took me all day to read this. And I really enjoyed it. There's certain stories that I enjoyed more than others, of course, but I loved getting a better look at some characters that we didn't know much about, particularly Robert Lightwood. I didn't want to, feel bad for him. He's kind of a character in the series that I was okay just outright disliking, but there was a story in here that didn't make me like him, but made me understand him a little more, so it made him, a little bit harder to just blatantly hate. But it also made me want a lot more about Michael Whelan because we don't know much about him. I gave this 4 stars on Goodreads, which I would agree with, just because I don't think I've ever said it. On Goodreads, if I give a book 5 stars, it means that the second I finished it, I wanted to reread it. Not read the next one in the series, but reread that one because it was that good. 4 stars just means I really, really loved it. So, I really, really loved this, but I didn't instantly feel like picking it up and rereading my favorites or anything like that. So, 4 stars. The next book, I read it on the 2nd, I think. It was Binge by Tyler Oakley. I have the paperback version, and it was so good. I love Tyler Oakley. It was funny. It was just like watching one of his videos. We got all the same humor and the same really good advice, and I just adore him. He is writing another book, and I'm excited. And it made me want to read more YouTuber books. I have Hannah Hart's newest book, Buffering, that I will be reading soon, but it made me want to check out a lot more. I think I gave it 3 stars, I believe. Yeah. The next book that I read on the 3rd, I did a lot of binge reading this month, was Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. The script, I thought the plot was intriguing, not perfect. I have feelings about it, but I did enjoy it. I don't, hate it completely. I was upset at some of the characters because I thought they weren't acting the way that I felt they would. Yep. I didn't think that the returning characters acted like themselves. I was disappointed in almost all of them except for Ginny. I think Ginny is the only character who I thought was accurate to who she would be. And my favorite part of the entire thing was how they made references to Ginny when they were in school and her feeling similar to how Draco felt, and just how I really enjoyed because they never acknowledge how she felt about the three of them and all that. So Ginny was amazing. I enjoyed their sons, Scorpius and Albus. I loved them. Yeah, I have feelings about it, though. We all have feelings about it. I'm not the only one. The next book I read for school, oh, it's over there, actually, but I'm not going to go get it. I read Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. It was not my favorite. I didn't like how similar the names were, so I was lost. And then by the time I had figured it out, I was no longer invested. It's a very interesting story, plotline, but the names just really threw me off. I was reading it very quickly for school because I just, like, I don't want to be reading. I wanted to get through it. So, next book that I have for you guys is my favorite book from the month. Oh my goodness, it was amazing. I read Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Oh my gosh, I'm in love. I gave it 5 stars, of course. It was amazing. What I kind of did is I took this with me to work for a little bit, so I would read like a chapter here, but then I finished the first part, and then I read the rest of it in one sitting. And I stayed up. Well, no. Okay, I was going to go to bed after, like, almost halfway through. I was going to go to bed because it was, like, midnight. But then I was in bed, and I just couldn't. I had to know, so I finished it that night. And I really wanted to pick up Crooked Kingdom right after I finished, but I didn't because I wanted to get through my TBR that I had already set. So, yeah. Next book that I read was Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. There's the movie based off of this with Sam Claflin and the girl from Game of Thrones in it. I don't know her name, I'm sorry. I know who she plays, Khaleesi, right? I have only watched a few episodes of Game of Thrones. Okay. I have something in my eye, I'm sorry. I really enjoyed this story, except she wrote another one. She wrote, like, Me After You or something like that, and I don't want to read that at all because I thought it ended very nicely. It was so sad. If you are in the mood for a sad book, this is a good one. It's not the best. It's a good, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed reading it, but there were parts I just didn't care about. Randomly, it changed narrator sometimes, and I'm sorry, there's something in my eye. It changed narrator, and sometimes it would do, like, the guy's like, I just didn't care most of the time about when it changed, because it didn't change, like, from his and her perspective. It was just her and other people, so I didn't care about most of the other people. There were some parts that I honestly just skimmed because I was like, I don't care. I enjoyed the main character. I thought she was interesting. I liked that they explained her, like, fears and her being trapped in accepting this small life, because from what I saw in the previews and from what I knew about the story, I was kind of just like, is she just another girl who's just too afraid to do anything with her life? But she had, like, real traumatic experiences, so I did like that there was those included. Thanks, Singer. Hey. Okay. I know that the last clip that I was whatever book I was talking about, it cut off in the middle of me speaking. That's because it stopped recording. And it's okay that it stopped recording, actually, because I finished the video, like, thinking that it had kept going because it didn't tell me that it had stopped, so that was fun. But something a little traumatic, not traumatic, just not fun happened. I have the best mom in the entire world. Never again a doubt in my mind. She is amazing. One of our dogs, Singer, pooped in the house, and I don't do bodily fluids well at all. Poop, blood, vomit, nothing. I don't do it well. It makes me throw up. It makes me very nauseous. I don't do it. But my mom, I called her to tell her, and she came home and cleaned it up for me. And she's so nice, and I love her so much. She came all the way home from work because she knew that I wouldn't be able to handle it, and she knew I would throw up if I had to clean it up, and it was awful. But, so here I am, minus sweater. I just realized I took off my sweater to film the rest of this video again because it stopped in the middle of Me Before You. I'm not sure if I talked about Pretties yet, just in case I haven't. I read Pretties. It wasn't my favorite. I was a little underwhelmed. There was one part that was really freaky to me. I missed Tally from the first book. I liked her a lot more. Glass Sword. I read I gave that one 2 or 3 stars. I don't remember. I read Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I gave it 4 stars, maybe 5 stars. I don't remember. I really enjoy all the characters. That one thing happened and feelings. And I just lots of love. Really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the first one more, but the second ones are usually my least favorites in trilogies, just because I feel like they're always kind of filler books. So, I read Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I gave this 5 stars. It was amazing. I loved this book. It was amazing. I gave it 5 stars. The second I finished it, I wanted to read it again. I loved it. It was so good. I'm so looking forward to reading the next one. All the characters are just amazing and so intriguing and so interesting, and the antagonist is so interesting, and just, oh my gosh. I don't know if I talked about this yet. I did actually finish this. I did enjoy. I was like halfway in and I still wasn't interested or didn't care at all, so I just decided to stop. So yeah. Shut up! I'm really mad at my dog right now. I don't know if I talked about this again. I think I did, but I'm not entirely sure, so I'm just going to mention it again just in case. Replica by Lauren Oliver. I read it. I loved it. I loved the characters and the differences and the difference in writing style. I think Lauren Oliver does the most amazing beginnings and endings. I think it's fantastic. I was invested in both stories, which is good because sometimes in stories that are from split perspectives, I don't care about half of it. So, very interested. Loved it. 4 stars? 4 stars. I read last month. It's February now. So now I'm going to really quickly go through my TBR. I'm not going to talk about a lot of the books very much. And I'm just going to get right on into it. There was a few books left over from my TBR. There's one book that was on my TBR last month that I didn't get through that I'm going to be finishing this month. There's another one. Last Sacrifice was on my TBR, but I'm just going to take a step away from that series for a little bit before I finish it because I won't enjoy it if I'm not wanting to read it. If I'm only reading it because it's on a TBR and because I want to finish the series, I won't care as much. So I'm just going to give it a little bit and see if I want to pick it up, and then I will. If I don't, at a certain point, I'll just finish it, but whatever. Then the book that was on my TBR that I'm going to be finishing up is Magnus Chasing the Gods of Asgard, Hammer of Thor. I'm having a hard time getting into this one. I don't know why. I'm just struggling. Maybe it's because I'm not as interested in Norse mythology as I am Greek or Roman or Egyptian, so I don't know if maybe that's it, but I'm just struggling getting involved, which is sad because I really like a lot of the characters. I think they're all really interesting characters. I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird. It's the first Rick Riordan book where I've struggled to be invested in it, and I don't like that, and I'm upset. Speaking of Rick Riordan, I'm also going to be rereading The Lightning Thief. My sister made me watch the movie, so now I wanted to reread the book. I don't know if I'm going to reread just the first one or reread the entire series. It's been a long time since I've reread them, so I might just do the entire series. Who knows? But yeah. Also, speaking of Rick Riordan, this is a very Rick Riordan-y month for me, apparently. I'm going to be reading Rick Riordan's The Trials of Apollo, The Hidden Oracle, Book 1. I'm very excited. I think these are really intriguing storyline. I'm just excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to read that. Okay, that's all of my Rick Riordan. Now I'm going to show you series ones. So, I'll be reading Specials by Scott Westerfield. I don't have high hopes, honestly. I don't. But I did have a friend who's read them say that this one is a lot better than the second one, which is comforting. So, yeah, I'm going to be reading that. I'm also going to be reading Scarlet from the Lunar Chronicles. I'm very, 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 very excited because I love the first one, and I know that it's, that there's a different main character in this one, but I'm still super excited. Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I am so ridiculously excited to read this. It's going to be amazing. I know it for a fact. I love Leigh Bardugo. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. So, very excited to read this. Okay. I think those are... Oh, no. I'm also going to be reading Cruel Crown. I've already started one of the stories. I'm about halfway through the first stories, Queen Song, about Queen Corianne, which I'm really excited to read, honestly. Goes hand in hand with, is it King's Cage? Something? King's Cage? I think it's King's Cage. Is the third in the Red Queen thing. So that's going to be coming out in just a few days, so I'm going to be reading that, but this one goes hand in hand with it, kind of, because this is small, so it shouldn't take me that long. The next book that I have is Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth. I don't know much about the story, but I liked the Divergent series. It's not my favorite, but I did really enjoy it, so I'm thinking I'll enjoy this. I picked up a copy, obviously, but excited to read it. The next one that I have is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I picked this up a few months ago, hoping to finish it before the movie came out. Didn't get around to it, so I want to read it so that I can read the... Ooh, there's pictures? There's pictures, guys. You probably already knew that. I am really excited to read this, and then once I finish it, I'll see the movie and see how I feel. So, yeah. Yeah. The next one that I have for you guys is Three Dark Hounds by Kendra Blake. I'm very excited to read this. This is one that I saw the book trailer for it. I got sent an email when they released the book trailer. I think Epic Reads or sent me and I was very excited to read it based on that. So I picked up a copy a few months ago. Haven't read it yet. Going to read it. Sounds very, very intriguing. And the last book, the last book on my TBR for the month is Holding Up the Universe by Jennifer Niven, I'm not sure. This sounds really, really interesting. I got a signed copy from Target, so that's super cool. I haven't read anything by Jennifer Niven, but if there's a book that I want to get and I see a signed copy, of course I'm going to get it, because I was already intrigued by this book.